Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. We're on episode 308. We are on our second day this week of the daily color in small victories. We colored yesterday this cute little tower using the Brutfuner macarons and one Brutfuner square, the dark gray, color 73. I did put out there getting input on whether or not I should finish the other half. Only half of it has the shading. I think for now, I did get somebody saying finish it, so I am totally open to doing that. I think the next two images, this one will be the Castle Arts Soft Touch, and the below left will be, I've got my clips on, this will be the Crayola 100. So I am going to somewhat mimic the color palette. You will see that each of those two images, this one has a 6-band banner, and down here we have 7, a 7-band rainbow. I'm interpreting that as a rainbow. So I'm not going to color those. I didn't pull out colors for that because I would like to try to finish this week, and I didn't want to spend the time to pull out those colors. So I think those will be my homework. I don't think I did not pull colors for the luminance, which is this last tower. So if I am close to finishing, I will go ahead. I am happy to pull those colors, not as homework, but do them like on Sunday with this one luminance tower. That will be a pretty simple coloring project. So all of these are going to be more on the soft, whimsical side than bright and colorful side. I do not often color in soft colors. I like bright colors, so it'll be a good challenge for me to continue with this soft palette. So the colors will be a little bit brighter, probably just by nature of not being pastels. And I am going to get started while I talk. I will go ahead and get that, make sure that is focused. I tried to make it a little bit brighter today. We are at dusk. So my first color is the yellow, and I chose Lemon Yellow 005, the cadmium yellow that is in right next to this particular color is quite dark, so I went one lighter because of going with the pastel palette. So I'm going to do the same thing. I have pulled one dark gray, and that one dark gray is going to do shadows, and I am going to do all of the shadows on the right. If I feel that I'm going to go ahead and finish all of them, I will be able to run through the grays on the left at the end. Not sure if it would be during the final tower or if I would do it on my own before the weekly color. I already have one completed project this week, which is why I'm hesitant to push myself. Again, due to the crazy schedule going on, if I can not have to color on Sunday, I would like to not have to do that. And so that finishes off our yellow. So that's kind of my game plan. The finished project that I do, I already have some homework. That's the other thing, trying to balance how much homework I give myself is a challenge. The light green, I'm following the olives for these leaves on the grass. My olive is Cadmium Green Pale 112. Cadmium Green 062 will be the shadow color, not the gray shadow, just a soft shadow. I'm letting these be loose because I don't mind it looking a little bit like fluffy bushes. And it will show up much more when I do the darker color. So what's interesting is remember if you go back to when I did the 30 round flowers, if you have not seen that, I touched every single set of pencils, and then for that week when I finished it off, I did a weekly review. I have not formally sat down and said in a descending order, like 1 through 30, which of my pencils are my favorite, most favorite to least favorite. I've kind of grouped them into every single pencil set that I have, they do the job. At a minimum, they all work. I purchased based on research, and any pencils that I have purchased that maybe I have 2 or 3 sets or somebody donated to me for the cause, if they are not adequate for the job, I don't even use them. And I don't have very many of those. So there's my fluffy bushes, very simple. Still have the dark shading to put in on them. So they do the job. And then I say nice pencils. So I have 4 categories in my mind. Very nice pencils, and I love them. So those are my 4 groupings that I have. And today's pencils are, the macarons are in my love them. The next 2 sets are not in the I love them. They are, well, the Crayola are, they do the job. Soft touches are more I do the job. They do the job. And they might even be a little bit more than they do the job, because I do like them better than the Crayola. I've got the kind of a blue gray called Heather Purple 37, and then Cobalt Purple 88. That is the accent color that I have just as a secondary tone to make the stucco, as I've envisioned these walls, have more depth and character. And it's like a berry color. Again, going with ovals because in my mind this is stucco, so it's textured. So yeah, someday I would like to rate all of my sets that I have. I have accumulated, because of the I Love Them pencils, quite a few of the brand that I like a lot, the budget ones, and that's the Color / Brutfuner family of pencils. I really like those pencils a lot. They are in the I Love Them category, which means then that the I Love Them category is a little bit heavy with Brutfuner Colors. It would be fun for me to try to categorize a tier list amongst my love thems and see, is there really that much difference between them? Some of them we all know, they have the same numbers and the same names. The core size might be a little different, and that is like the Black Barrel Colors are the same as the Color Barrel Colors. The only difference is in the millimeter size of the pigment. So does that make one or the other of them better in just because of my personal preference? Do I like a fat core, or do I like maybe a skinnier core? So those are all questions I have, and I have never decided. Coloring every day is my focus, and so these are like down the road when I'm kind of backed off a little bit from the whole hype and excitement that I've put on myself for actually coloring with these pencils that I own over and over and over again. Then next year I might do some crazy different tests and things. All right, we've got our base of this lavender down. And now I'm going to go in with the violety berry color and get some depth to the color. Just kind of adding this berry color here and there, but not everywhere. I think we're going to find that the color palette, we will be able to replicate the colors pretty readily amongst all 4 sets. No, I can tell I'm very quiet. One of the people who visited me at the artisan market, who was very interested and knew, she has some pencils at home, and I had my blank sheets, the autumn coloring pages, that if they seemed very interested in coloring, I would offer them a blank, and she went ahead and took a couple. And she does not live near me, so she's not going to be able to attend the in-person coloring meetings, my group. However, I said, well, that's great, because I now do coloring just about every day on my YouTube channel. So she was very intrigued, and I said, be sure to leave a comment if you find me and you subscribe. And she did. It was really fun to see that comment. It made my day. The doing of these markets and such is not necessarily to sell everything. I love to make room for more, so selling isn't a bad thing. But I like the building of the community and sharing my love for crafts and color and coloring. So it's really fun. And people are like, if I don't have big sales, it just doesn't even bother me, because that's really not what I'm there for. I am there to build rapport with people. So a good example is that I'm using the lavender color, and I switched from the berry color, and I probably did not say anything, so I apologize for that. So this person at the garage sale that was the weekend before the artisan market came by, saw I was a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, looked at my kits. These are just pre-made kits. They're sealed up. They haven't been used by anybody. And so I'm trying to sell some of my extras. So she was very interested, and she said she would be back. She didn't come back. But, this community, everybody knows everybody, and so she was able to find my email. I think she took a coloring group business card. And so she emailed me and said, hey, I'm the one who was asking about the kits, and I want to know if I can come by today or tomorrow to get them, or to look at them again. And so she did come by, and we brainstormed. I believe it was her daughter, either daughter or daughter-in-law, has done some kits with her in the past, but doesn't own any of the supplies. So she was hoping to get a couple of these kits for birthday and thank you, to make birthday and thank you cards. And in these kits, you get a little stamp set. So we were able to go through and look at the stamps that you get and find her 2 kits. One actually was a really inexpensive kit, which I thought I would never sell it because of just the style that it was, but for her purposes, it was going to work perfectly. So, though I didn't make the money on the day of the garage sale, I will be logging the money as a garage sale. And there are a lot of cases where people know me now and what I do, and so they contact me directly throughout the year for what they need. I've even had people working on like a project. We have a nature center, and it's like a little museum nature center with a lot of what is it called, where you have animals preserved, lots of them. So I think somebody must have lived here in the community at some point that did that. And we even have like a curator person, and there's activities for kids and a bunch of books. It's just really nice. But the person was trying to come up with who does the bulletin boards. So she has some crafting supplies, and she bought these stencils, and she was struggling with using them. So she came over and we worked on them together. So that was also nice. So I get lots of interactions with crafting. Okay, so next I have a gray here. I will tell you, I want to share, this is the dark gray. So we do have an issue with the, oh, you're seeing my swatch there. The barrels dipped ends for the Castle Arts. This is not this color. The color of the tip is very dark, and the color of the pigment is quite dark. So I'll be bringing that out in a bit. I am going to grab the tan. All right, this is yellow ochre. Oh, and sorry about that. That is me getting a little sloppy with my hand. All right, we have 2 tans. They are a little darker than the lighter tan tones. Here they are. And then this is probably officially my smallest pencil, raw umber, and it is one that I got used, and I'm not sure if the person used it, but I suspect it's got breakage along the core. And I already have a backup set of these pencils that has the raw umber in full length. So raw umber 116 is the darker color, which I will reverse them so they look correct. Lighter color, yellow ochre 1077 and raw umber 116. So I have to, I think I'm going to change my angle because I need to be on the roof. And when I work on the roof, I have to have my hand coming from a different angle. It is more difficult for me being left-handed when I'm trying to work. Actually, I can move that out, can't I? Oh yeah, that's way better. Perfect. So now I will be able to take this light color feather light. I'm trying to keep it very light. I would like to have this image be in the spirit of the macaron from yesterday. That's like the model we're working on. So this roof, I want to actually not do swirls like I've done for the stucco and the grass. I'd like it to be smoother and have some horizontal lines I'm not sure if it's supposed to be wood or something else. And I want it darker on the edges and lighter where the lines are broken. I've got now a roof that I am going to do the lines in the direction of the vertical lines. And we want the windowsills to be the tan. Yeah, I like it when I should have actually colored this whole thing this direction, because it's way easier for my hand to come in from the left. Now, I want my shadow to be predominantly on the right, and this, the way the line art is done on this mini roof, that's not how it shows. But I think I'm going to stick to my guns and make this right side still be the shadow side. Doing horizontal lines here like I did the top roof element and this roof. And my door is going to be wood as well. Bringing in the darker now, which is a little stubby raw umber. 116. I didn't even try to sharpen this. I'm not sure how well it would sharpen in my electric sharpener. It might even be too short. I'm gonna do less shadow work on the left side, more on the right side. I think I'm even going to make whatever this wainscot treatment be the brown. See, just very cute, simple coloring. All right, I am going to go ahead and do the magic, and let's just see if we get the same overall treatment here when we put the gray on. Saving that banner for either homework, or I will do it on, oh, well, I hope I don't need the little stubby again. here's the shadow color. Again, you're going to find the Cool Gray Deep 66 is darker than that barrel appears. It also has this lovely seam crack filled in with paint, and I think that's paint. But I believe it still works fine. I'm going to sharpen it, and let's get some shadows going. We don't have any stonework on this house. These pencils feel very soft, but not buttery soft. And they have a unique feeling. They actually feel more oily than the Castle Arts Gold that are advertised as an oil-based pencil. They're a little bit crumbly. You saw a little crumble there. The oil-based golds are way more crumbly than these are. It's one of my least favorite things about the golds. So that is all I'm going to do for that area. I just love how you can sneak a shadow line. Very simple, and it immediately adds depth. It is just wonderful to see. I really like shading. I believe I am done. There's the 1/2. I don't have my... Here. Let's flip this page and do the same test. This is just a great way if you just want to be really simple, low-key, don't worry about a lot of shading. You can go ahead and do like very simple 2-color blends. Those 2-color blends will look something like this on the left. And then you just add one more color, and all you do is shading, and look at how fantastic that looks. So that's what this page is all about, which is why I am still half tempted to leave it half and half as a little reminder and a visual of the differences. All right, we're doing well on time. This is a bigger image. I might have to go fairly quickly through it, but let's just see how well I get along with these Crayolas that are only up to, they went from the I can't stand them, coloring them in this book, they were bumped up to they can do the job, and they do the job. So let's just see how it goes. I don't know that I've used them a ton. I think I've only used them one more time. And I'm just doing the lantern, this little glow on the wall. That might be it. Okay, so these, just so you know, as a feeling difference, the soft touch are very soft feeling. Yeah, we'll say that that's a yellow. These, very dry feeling. But the soft touch are not crumbly soft. I'm going to go ahead and do the building color. Let's see how well these do. Lovely name, Purple Heart, love it, number 47. This is, again, my own numbering. I printed them out on a half-sheet mail label. And I actually already had these from another project and just used them. So I had like number 1 through 100 printed out a couple of times. It's just sitting in the wings. Orchid is not the gold stamp is not very nice. And then I love the name Purple Heart. I think that's a great name. Then we have our lavender, the blue, and then the berry. And I am going to start. And I'm actually, because of this gray, and I don't know what this 3-step thing is all about, so I am doing less of the browns on this one, a lot more of the gray in the stonework. And I'm going to start with this lavender color. It already feels way drier. It's not noisy. It just feels very dry. Even the prangs are more buttery feeling than the Crayolas. I do find that these are a light layering pencil. The more you just nicely don't force them to put color, as you get more layering done, the color will come. I promise. That's where I was pretty impressed with these on this smooth paper. You just have to be willing to spend a little extra time layering them up. So my mock-up has the roof not brown, trying to get more of the color. And so I think I'm going to just have the thin lines be the brown. And I'm going to softly apply this is Purple Heart again. See, you do not get a lot of color. The first layer, very, very light, and I am using light pressure. I am a light-handed colorist. So now I have to come back through and do at least one more layer. I'm just like nondescript on the texture of this roof. You know, I don't want it to be directional. I don't need it to be ovals. All right, where else do I have? Oh, and I decided that this was also going to be, I hear them a little bit now. I'm actually applying a little more pressure. I am, because I don't know what this is supposed to be. At first I thought maybe it was book spines, but they're just too uneven. So I'm going horizontal. I am now going to go ahead and bring in the berry color. kind of around the edges. See, these are going down nice. The first layer, though, that was not very impressive. You really have to give these extra time. They are not a fast pencil. Give them a little more time. It's funny, using them makes me want to talk more when I'm using the soft touch. So maybe that's part of the... If it's a kind of a neutral pencil and it does its job, I don't have a ton to say about it. If I absolutely love it, I will gush about it. But if it takes more work, like these are definitely more work. And the prings, they're more work. And they feel just like any other pencil. They're not as glossy as some others. The Fancy Pants pencils aren't as, this isn't as glossy as those. The core isn't too small, not terribly small by any means. It's sort of like a 3.3 millimeter-ish core. Alright, I think I've got my two tones, and I'm looking at the other two, and I see the cool purple and the berry purple doing their thing. We do have our dark gray layer that will be added at the very end. I'm going to set these aside. This particular image, like I said, is going to have a lot more of the gray. Oh, I just dropsies today. I have two grays. I do need to sharpen this one. Same as what I used at the top. I used warm gray number 2. This was the macaron. And warm gray number 2 and cool gray. And this image up here uses no gray. There was nothing. I didn't designate anything as gray here. The only thing I might want to do is like the welcome mat, where this one is absolutely going to have an abundance of gray. We've got these stones to do. I'm going to start with the warm gray that I just sharpened. It is literally called warm gray. And then the other one that's cold gray is just called gray. We'll see how much the barrels are alike, but look at how warm that warm gray looks. It almost looks like sepia colored. So I want to keep the stones, you know, like offset. I want them to look rounded and be curved, not smooth. And look how faint that's going down for how dark the barrel is. So we will see once we get a couple of layers going how well it's building up. I have my yellow glow to work around or work with. And yes, I only have two grays, which means I get to make the wall and the stairs out of these two colors as well. And then I do have my shadow color. I'm going to start with, I want the stairs to be horizontal lines. I know you don't think it makes a difference, but in the end of the day, directional coloring really does make a big difference. It just really helps with the, I don't know, setting of the structure. And then I am going to do vertical, and it's going to be shadowed in the back, and then lightening up toward the front. And I will get to add the dark shadow. So that was all with the warm gray, 1.5 coats maybe. Now I've got the cool gray. Let's see what happens. These are a very textury stone. I'm just putting random coloring on these stones to give them a weathered, varying colored look. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some of this cool gray. I'm just mixing the two colors of grays. I'm going to leave that all just like that. I have tans now, and there's 2 tans, and they're going to do a lot. They get to be gold and copper and tree color, as well as wood. So like this is the darker, here's the 2. Light brown, harvest gold. That's how I'm achieving being able to do brown and tan and to do gold. So this up here is going to use the harvest gold on the left, which is my lighter side. I will then grab the light brown and it will be on the right. So slender. And we will see if I will be able to add a shadow to that. I want my lantern to be gold. Oh, and I have to move up a little bit, not too much. I can move over. This part could be wood or could be gold. I'm happy with it, just whichever way it gets interpreted. This is going to be horizontal wood. A little bit of wood. I could have left those elements white, but I don't want them white. Again, very not a lot of payout on your first layer with these pencils. Let's get the tree. I guess my last color is going to be green. Usually because green is my favorite color. Green is one of the first colors that I always work with. So I find that interesting. Very sketchy. Oh, yep. And then we're gonna move to the dark, which is actually called light brown. I already did that up there. Well, let's add some light brown to other areas here. It's going to be fun to add the little rainbow element and the banner. feel like I might be running over time. Very close to over time. This one, I knew doing 2 of these was going to go a little long. I'm okay with that. Okay, on to green. Oh, oh, it's falling. Need to move that over. There we go. Moving on to green. I have, in this case, 2 sets of greens. First, we're going to do the really small bits. So, following the guide up here, we have a bluey green. This is a fun named tropical rainforest color, and 62 is the number I have given it in my system. I only grabbed 1 of these because these are so small. The shadow can be the gray when I get to it. I can even add a second layer here. See how the first layer was feather light. This is one of the colors that go down better than some of the others. There is an inconsistency in how much pigment you can get out of the various colors. The prangs are the same way. You just have to work a little harder at it, and I think that's perfect. Now for the, I had an alternative green. I'm going to move it out of the way. It was forest green, and I decided to stick with that bluish green for the cohesiveness of the page. Okay, now I'm doing the olives. Jade green is the light color and olive is the darker color. My numbers 71 and 75, and I am going to take the jade is very, very faint. I noticed that when I was doing the mock-up of it. I am doing my ovals because I want fluffy, deciduous tree leaves. This is a very dry pencil, feels dry, more so than the others. I even noticed it actually left a little scratchiness on the surface. And that's what makes this set more of a, it's adequate for the job, you know, it does the job, but it's not fantastic. They are not a fantastic set of pencils. If I were going to be using these seriously, I would probably put like a red dot or pink dot on this as a warning to myself, because it really doesn't even feel good. It feels scratchy. So now I'm going back again over certain areas, especially focusing on the dots, because those are the prompt for shadows. Though all of this area back here should be in shadow. Behind these branches should be darkest, and I will fix that to be the case when, and then this area here should also be in shadow. I will be emphasizing that with the next color, which is olive. And then how are we doing? Oh, we are over 50 minutes. This is pretty dry too. Focusing on the dotted areas with this darker olive. Absolutely putting darker in these areas where the branches are covering the leafy areas. more pressure here. Gonna have to go over and over to see how it's darkening up the more layers I put down. So now I notice that the rest of the tree is way too soft. So now I'm going to go soft myself with this in circles, because the jade is so scratchy and dry and hard that I don't know if I can get the payout that I want. So using this very softly will give me kind of finish off that lighter tone. Yeah, it's not coming out too terrible. They're not, there are pencils I love the feel of, like the metallics and the macarons. These do not feel like the macarons. The macarons was yesterday, and they felt like a dream. These do not. And the result that I'm not seeing a huge difference in the end is purely how they feel to me. Oh, let's make those little areas dark. Okay, I am ready for the shadow really quick, and we will call this day done. Yeah, see, if you're patient with these, you can get what you want out of them. And I'm probably judging them. You know, I compare them to so many of the other sets that feel so lovely. And you know what? I actually even want... There you go. See, that makes all the difference to me in the look of the object. All right, let's get some gray. The gray is actually called... It's not even called gray. No, and it actually feels good. This is called... Oh, I grabbed the black. That's not supposed to have happened. I had a different color in mind. Let me pause and go find it. All right, I grabbed the color next to the color I was supposed to get. So this is ash, and it is just about as dark as the two other grays. It is a tad lighter, and it's a much harder pencil. So let's just see what we can get out of it. I'm at 53 minutes, but I really want to keep going with this page. Don't want to fall behind. I knew it would go over a little bit. Yesterday was only 36 minutes, but it's like the spread. I knew that it would take more time to work with these two pencils, the soft touch, although the soft touch went pretty fast. I just have to be patient with these. They're not going to be speedy. Hopefully my knuckle is not causing a problem. I'm going to move over because then I can see better. The one thing about these stands, where the holder is right smack in the middle of the image, and it blocks me from seeing. I only see the image from side to side just a little bit, so that makes it challenging. All right, let's see. I did have a clip on the bottom here, but it was in the way of my coloring, so I chose to remove it. Yeah, not the most pleasant of pencils to be working with. I know there are people that this is what fits in their budget. This is a set of pencils they can go and get more of very readily. I got mine from Walmart. I know there's a 150, but at the time I don't know that I saw the 150 at Walmart. I may have seen it there once or twice, and I thought that the 150 was specific to Walmart. Okay, I'm getting a little bit of a resist trying to do the black along the lines, the art lines. Again, trying to give them a 3D curved appearance here. And I see it. I hope you guys can too. Heavy pressure now, and I'm getting more, since I have a base down of it, it's easier for me to get the darkness I am after having added a couple of layers. If I had gone really hard initially, I don't think I would have gotten the result I wanted. Nice. All right, I'm going to add just a little bit more here, and we will call this done, except the rainbow. Well, thank you guys for sticking with me to get this one finished. Making either a one day next week, it'd be early. I have a project I'm working on in romantic country for the next couple of days, and that one will take more than 2 sittings to finish. So it'll just be, if I want to see this completely finished by Sunday, I could then have 2 completed pages. I just have to judge what my schedule looks like. If I want to have a more hectic week this week, it just really depends on how the weekend goes. That's what I like about this, that I get to decide what I want to do. All right, I have a little bit more work to do here along the tree. Forgot the trunk. And also realize that you're pairing up these particular pencils with a very slow colorist. I am very slow. Yeah, if you're just willing to spend a little time with these guys, they're okay. Not as pleasant. My hand hurts a little bit. None of my pencils hurt my hands. These do hurt my hands. And they hurt my hands not putting really heavy pressure down. Oh, that came out very nice though. All right, so we did this image with the Castle Art Soft Touch. I actually see more tooth. They're a softer pencil, easier to get the pigment down, but they leave more tooth. Where I see over here with the macarons, less tooth. These were the most pleasant between the 3 to work with, And then the Crayola, much more difficult to work with, but they don't show a lot of tooth. They fill in the tooth nicely as you add your layers. Yeah, very nice. Nice end result. Very happy with that. So that is it for today. Tomorrow we'll be moving on to our romantic country project, which is the camping page. Oops, golly, I did that again, sorry. All right, so do all of the YouTube things, like, share, comment, consider subscribing. Join me all again for a couple of days of romantic country. And then again, I may go ahead on Sunday if not a lot is going on over the weekend. And I've got a banner. Could be homework, could be done with you guys. I got a rainbow. And then we have the tower, which will be so different because there is the luscious, soft, lovely Luminance professional pencils that I will do this little tower in. So I hope to see you there.